Hi, my name's Pamela and I breed British Shorthair cats in Perth, Western Australia. I have a passion for cat breeding and I love to share my knowledge and information with others. This series is designed for new breeders, but if you're an existing breeder or an established breeder, stick around as you might learn a tip or two. Today I'm using my brand new selfie stick and I'm out here in my cattery. I refer to the cattery as a barn, and maybe one day I'll share with you what it looks like from the outside because it actually is barn shaped. That's why it's called the barn. Funny story, when I first got my beautiful girl from Germany, she came from a lovely breeder over there, and I did say to the breeder, she said, where will she be kept? And I said, oh yeah, she's going to live sometimes in the house and sometimes in the barn. And she freaked out because she thought I meant like a, I don't know, tumble down building in the back of our block, some sort of farm outbuilding. But no, it is actually a purpose-built cattery. It just happens to be the shape of a barn. So the noise you can hear is actually the air conditioning running at the moment because it's a hot day here in Perth. You can just sort of see that up there. That's our air conditioning. It's fully air conditioned, it's fully lined, and it stays really nice and climate controlled in here. I also today will tell you that I've got some of my boys in today because it is hot. So when it's hot, I do like to bring them inside so that we don't have to worry about them. We don't have to worry about when it gets to 40 degrees, which it does. And we know that they're safe in the barn. They're nice and cool. The air conditioner's running, and they're also safe for in case we have bushfires, which is a sort of a problem in our area. It hasn't happened to us yet, touch wood, but you know, that's a thing that you have to deal with when you live in Australia. So that's the noise that's going on in the background. A couple of the girls, the younger girls in here, are actually calling, probably because the boys have moved in. So there's a lot of noise going on and meowing, and that's what that's about. Okay, so I'd like to show you some things that we do in here. Now, you can see I've got these pens, lovely pens. My partner Damien made them for me. Before we had these, we actually brought over when we moved into this block and we had the barn made, we had the barn put up, we had our aviaries, our metal bird aviaries that we had in our previous property, and we had them all in here, which was a bit weird because they were outside structures inside, but that worked, and that worked for a while. Then we had some pens that were actually the extension runs from our outside pens. If I ever share a video of them, you'll see that they come in two parts and have an extra run on them, and we use them in here as well, but they were quite low and small and not really suitable. Then Damien used all of his woodworking abilities and he made me these beautiful pens which all have their own doors, and they're really easy to clean. You can just sweep everything out into the hallway. We've got into the open middle bit. We've got a section there. Now, I'm going to put my hand up and say, this place is not sterile. This place is not super clean. There's a lot of crap everywhere, but I think that that's just part of how I breed my cats. My cats, you can see the pens are actually quite clean, but they've got stuff. I don't know who that is. They've just got stuff. They've got old pieces of furniture that we don't want anymore. They've got you know, old blankets. I've got a lot of towels. I own a beauty salon, so I have a lot of towels that get used as well. They're left over. When the towels aren't any good at the salon, I bring them home. It's a bit of a hot mess really, and my ribbons and cat carriers and things. It's not all neat and tidy and matchy, which is what my house is like, but not the cattery. The cattery is a bit more, I don't know, rustic is maybe the way I describe it. And I thought about that and I thought, well, it's not super clean. Should I really share it in a video with people? And I thought, what the hell? It's probably more useful for you to see a real breeder's cattery than it is to see some sort of pristine white show house of a cattery. So this is a real deal. It is how I keep my cats, and I'm actually out here today because today is cleanup day and I'm about to start doing my litter trays and other things which I have to get done and clean down and sweep everybody out and change some bedding and things. And I thought that was a really good chance to show you some of the stuff that I have and the way I do things. Now, as a new breeder, this is way past what you would expect to have for your cats. I have been breeding for a very long time and I do have a lot of cats, and I'm lucky that I am actually able to look after them, that I can have as many as I do. But one of the things I do to make sure that I can do that is I make things as easy as possible for myself. As easy as possible for myself, and that's another reason why it's not sterile clean out here, because I definitely do weigh up what needs to be done, what has to be done versus what I'd like to get done. So it's clean, it's tidy, everybody's happy, the cats have a lot of space. For me, the cats having space, a comfortable bed to sleep on, clean litter tray, food and water is much more important than whether or not I've disinfected the floor 3 times this week. So that's the way I like to keep things. And my cats are happy, my cats are healthy, and my cats are well looked after. They're all well fed, they're all looked after. So I don't get too fussy and too hung up on making things perfect. And one of the things about the barn is that it is a lot of my older cats. So cats that have reasons that they can't come in and live in the house, or have reasons that they weren't actually found a pet home when they were younger. I can think of, I've got a cat that I can see over there. I'm not sure if you can see in there, I've got 2 fat cats that are sleeping in beds there. Cindy came all the way from the UK and she was quite timid, and she wasn't really suitable for rehoming when she retired, so she stayed with us. She doesn't stay in the house that often because she bites me while I'm sleeping. Then there's Penny next to her. Penny actually did go to a new home and decided that she didn't like it and she wanted to come home again, and she's been so happy ever since she's gotten home. And then there's Katie, is sitting up there on the shelf, I think at the moment. Katie's on the shelf there. Katie is another cat that, she's an older cat. She's actually way older than she looks. She's probably about 14 or 15. She does come in the house, so it's just not her turn at the moment. So my cats take turns in the house and turns coming out here in the barn, and the cats that are in the barn take turns in coming out and running around in the barn as well. At the moment, Wendy, Douglas and Ellie are running around. Wendy's just going back in her pen. They'll come and go from their pen, they'll climb up to the top of the pens, they'll do whatever they want, and then at dinner time they all go away, and then we'll let someone else out to have some fun. So the cats definitely do get a lot of time running around and enrichment and that kind of thing. Now, I wanted to come into this pen, just come into this one. This is a good example of how we keep our cats. So I'll show you some of the things that, even though when you start breeding and you've got cats to look after, just really make things, I think I've said it, as easy as possible for yourself, because if you make it easy, you will be able to manage your hobby. If you let things get out of hand, if you let things get too difficult, if you put too much pressure on yourself to be perfect, then things won't be good and things will go bad and you will end up in trouble. And you hear of people who've got too many cats and then they've suddenly got to get rid of all their cats, or dramas like that. You don't want dramas like that. You just want to be able to breed and enjoy the cats that you have. It's got to be enjoyable. If it's not enjoyable, then what is the point? This is a hobby. This is not a job. This is not, it's a lifestyle, yes, but it is still a hobby. And if it's not enjoyable, why are you doing it? So yeah, you have to do some of the crappy jobs like scoop the poos, but the rest of it should outweigh that. If all you're doing is scooping the poos and cleaning and dealing with problems, then it's not really a good hobby. It's not a hobby, it's a job. One of the other things about old cats, and another reason they're out here, is because they like to puke. My cats do puke a lot. These old cats, they're all like 18, 16, 17, 18 years old. So they do spew up a lot. So you have to make sure that things that you're doing make things easy to clean, because accidents are gonna happen. With the stud boys, accidents for them mean peeing on things. They don't really do it by accident, they do it deliberately, but they will pee on things. The older cats will puke things up. You've got to be ready to clean things up quickly, but you also need to be I'm not running around scooping every turd that comes out of my cats as soon as it comes out of my cat's butt. There's a limit to as much as you can do. So I try to make things as easy for myself and for Damien as I can, and there's some things I'd like to tell you about that. So that was a long-winded way of getting to this discussion. So one of the things I have here in my cattery is, I'm just coming in here and I've got a little lock there to keep the door closed so the girls don't get out, because they may fight with the other cats. Okay, so the girls over here, you can see they're on their beds. The beds they're on at the moment are their heated beds from winter, but I've taken the heating pads out of them and they've been washed, and so, but they really do like them. You can see that they've each got a little blanket. They've got a blanket inside there so that when they're in their favorite beds, I think that's working. I'm not too good with the selfie stick. They've got a little blanket in there so that if anything happens, and these cats really like to spew. Cindy in particular, she loves a good spew. So when they throw up in their beds, rather than having to change the whole bed and wash the whole bed, if they've got a little blankie there that's quite, you know, folded up and quite thick, you can just take that and you can wash that. And if you wash that, that's a lot easier than having to wash the whole bed. And you can do that, you know, if she chucks, you know, every day this week, well, she'll go to the vet. But, you know, if there was a lot of that, then I don't have to keep washing and drying and putting out new beds. I can just wash and dry the little blanket, and I've got a lot of those. I bought a lot of fleece fabric and cut it into squares, and they just fit nice and neat into the beds. So that's a really good idea too. I've got chairs over here. Where are we? I'm trying to get this to work. Okay, folding chairs I've got here. So the folding chairs have got, there we go. The folding chairs have got a folded up towel on the bottom, and the towel's held in place with some fold back clips. And that means that the cats can sleep on that, they can get it all haired up, they can get it, you know, dirty, they can chuck up on it if they want to. But I can come along and I can quickly take that towel, I can take it away and I can replace it with another towel, and then that is quickly cleaned as well. So I don't have to fuss about cleaning the chair, I can just clean the towel, and then the cats have regular clean bedding that's good for them. Sorry, somebody just jumped on somebody else. Then in here you can see I have the litter trays, and we use the Ozpet litter tray system, and I use the big trays, and I'm just in the process of doing the trays out here. So I've got 3 trays there. When you have more than one Ozpet litter tray, you can actually take the top of one and put it onto the next one and clean the tray of that one, then come back and do that. So it makes it really easy to rotate them. I think even if I have one cat, I have 2 trays, because it's much easier to clean the trays, to pick up the bases and take them away if you've got something to put the top one in. So I do that all the time. Another thing I do to make life easy for myself is I put my food in a container. Shadows on my face there. I put my food in a container in every pen. So my food, when it comes, I get the really big bags of Royal Canin food, and I separate them up and I put them into containers. And each pen has its own container and it has its own scoop. I was really surprised that I thought everyone did that, but they don't. Some people have a big container and they put all the food into one container, and then they have a scoop and they scoop that out, and then they go from pen to pen. And that's a lot of back and forth. That's a lot of walking back and forth. I want things to be easy. So when we come in and give them their meat at night, when we give them their wet food at night, their bowls go down on the floor for them to eat. And then we have these containers. Everybody's got these containers. These are Decor Containers, and they've got, you can see there on the other side, they've got a little yellow tag on them, and the little yellow tag has what type of food it is. There's a scoop in there as well, and we have bowls here. You can see we've got 2 bowls like this, other bowls there. Now these bowls, the biscuit bowls, we're not cleaning them every night. There's no need to clean them every night. They do get cleaned once a week. And one of the things I have is I have a ton of these, and I put new bowls down, and then all the bowls get washed together. So once a week, it's like take up all the bowls. If there's any food in them, it gets tipped in the new one, and then we go and wash the bowls so that they all get washed out once a week, and that's fine. Wet food, that has to be a clean bowl every time, absolutely. But the biscuit bowls don't have to be cleaned as often as the wet food ones do. I've also got some other little beds in here that the cats have got, but they've all got little towels in them, so I can just whip the towel out and wash the towel if we have any problems. And hello, Poppy. Here's my really old cat, Poppy. Poppy, Poppy. Oh, she's being a bit camera shy. Here's my really old cat, Rosie. Rosie, I think Rosie was mentioned in a previous video. Rosie has renal failure. She's not doing so good, but she loves life. She's a really good girl. And you can see they have their biscuits there as well. So they also have their towel. Rosie likes to sit up here on this top piece of wood. So she has a towel there, and I changed that towel. It's a little bit dirty because she is an older cat. She has some issues with tear ducts, and she is a bit messy. So that towel gets changed once a week, and she's good to go. The furniture that she's on is just, I'm not sure, I probably got that from one of my old salons. And it's just an old piece of furniture that happened to be the right height. So I brought it in here and we use it. You can use old stuff from different places. You don't have to go out and buy brand new pristine things for your cattery. Or when I say cattery, for a new breeder, you might only have 1 pen. You might just have 1 pen outside, and that's where you keep your starter cat. Or you might have 1 pen outside, and that's where you keep some of your breeding girls, and maybe it's attached to the house as well. Don't be afraid to use stuff that's, you know, stuff that you would put out on the curb to get rid of, old chairs, old armchairs, dining chairs, even stuff that you pick up off the side of the road, as long as it's clean. You can use that as well. There's no reason why you can't recycle furniture and that for your cats, because breeding cats are pretty hard on stuff, especially the boys. Oh my god, they'll wreck stuff quite quickly. Their pee is quite gross and quite corrosive. So you don't want to have really nice stuff for them. I have a couch out here in the Cattery, and the couch is from IKEA, and it has a removable cover that I can wash, but every now and probably every year I get a new cover for that and put a new cover on, because the cats just wreck it. They absolutely wreck it. One cat can do a little bit of damage, a lot of cats can do a lot of damage, and I think it's not that they're more that they do more damage it's just that collectively it does add up to a lot of wear and tear on the things they have. Now I showed you the litter trays here before, and they're on a table. Okay, so they're on the table. The litter tray is on a table. That's an old table that I got from my dad's. It's a folding table. I've got various shapes and sizes of them here in the Cattery. The litter trays are on there so that I don't have to bend down to the ground. Where the cats need them to be on the ground, like Poppy and Rosie, they have the litter trays on the ground, but the cats that are able to get up on the tables, they have their litter trays up on tables. And I have a little table here that they jump up on, and then from there they can jump up onto this table, and they can go to the toilet, and then they can jump down again. They can also jump from there up onto their shelves, and from their shelves they then go up to a higher shelf up there. Like Katie, you're a good girl. And that makes things easier for me. I also have something I'm going to show you, and I know all of the breeders who've been breeding for a while will be like, oh man, I really want one of them. The new breeders will be going, oh, that's a bit weird, but yeah, trust me, you'll eventually want one of these too. This is my trolley. This is my litter tray cleaning trolley. I'm not very good at showing you with this with the selfie stick. So this trolley here, Damien made this for me. You can see that it matches. It was custom made to my specific requirements, and the thing about this trolley is, and I'll just show you by putting it in here, going back into this pin, this trolley is made to fit up to the tables, and I wheel my trolley up and my trolley fits there next to the table, and then I can do, I'm just gonna hold my phone like this, I can do my scooping, put the stuff in the trolley. That's where all the poop goes. That's where all the litter that's coming from the base goes. Down the bottom here, I'm not sure if you can see that, I've got litter there as well. On my trolley, I've also got my paper towel, my brush, dustpan and broom, my cleaning spray that I love. It's all there on my trolley. So rather than taking the litter trays somewhere and cleaning them, I go into each pen and clean them in the pen. Then if I need to, I can take the bases or the tops and clean them over in the sink that I have, which is over in the kitchen part of the Cattery. But generally, when I'm doing a quick clean, I just whiz around with my trolley, do all the scooping, and then I can take that trolley fully loaded with poo to the door of the Cattery, and then I can tip it into the bin that's just outside the door. So that saves me a lot of effort and a lot of walking around with big heavy litter trays. If you were using different litter systems than Ozpet, you could still do that with Breeder's Choice or other things. It's more about having the table and then having the trolley that can push up to the table. Inside, I have a trolley that I got from IKEA that I use in a similar way, so that's really useful as well. But this one was made, like I said, Damien made it for me. It's got wheels with locks. It's got, you know, can go 360. It's actually okay, so it's actually made so that it can wheel over the top of the cat's biscuit bowls so that they don't get in the way. So yeah, there was a lot of thought went into it, and I was so happy with it. I think it's probably one of my most favorite things that I have is my trolley. So yeah, if you can get someone to make you one once you've got your tray set up like that, then yeah, you'll be in business. So we have the litter that we're topping up the trays with. It comes to the tray. I also have a bottle of water on there as well. And what I use that for is, while I'm in here, I might top up the cat's water. Now my cats have all got buckets that I use for water out here. So they've all got these buckets from Bunnings, and they're really good because they're really deep. They don't tip them over, and they can fit a lot of water in them. And Katie's just decided to celebrate me cleaning the tray by using it. Thank you, Katie. That's lovely. So I might make my way out of here. And having multiples of things is really good. So those buckets that I just showed you, I have a ton of those up in the cupboard. So once a week I'll collect up, tip them all out, put fresh ones out. You don't have to necessarily wash the ones that need washing before you can put the fresh ones out. So if you are busy and running behind, you can do that job later, but your cats will still get fresh water bowls today. I do that with bowls as well. I have a lot of cat bowls. The cat bowls are all up in the cupboard, and I have a lot of cat bowls so that I've got enough to wash them and then use them. I'll just show you. Here's my cupboard. There we go. There's all the buckets and the bowls. And I'm a little bit fancy because in my Cattery I have a dishwasher and I have a washing machine. So my cats are a little bit spoiled, and I'm a little bit spoiled because I have those things. And as a new breeder, those things for you to aspire to. You don't have to have those. But I have a lot of cats, so that's why I have those. It makes my life easier. What are some other things that I can tell you about making your life easier? Having two of everything, taking things to where you're going. So you might not have a trolley like I do, but there's no reason why you can't get one of those little plastic caddies and take your cleaning stuff into the pens that you might have, even if you only have one or two, into the rooms that you keep your cats in, and you might be able to go in there with the cleaning caddy, and then you'll be able to be more efficient with your time. That's probably a good way to describe it, being efficient with your time, because saving time when it comes to cleaning, saving time when it comes to looking after your cats means that you have more time to give them attention and to give them love and to treat them like pets rather than just livestock. I also have lots of little brooms and things around the place for sweeping up. This is my favorite type of broom. This one is for sweeping in there, and you can get them at Bunnings. I have lots of them, and what we tend to do is we have two of them in the house, and when they get a bit mank, they come out here in the Cattery, and then when they get really mank, we get new ones and rotate them around again. I have some furniture in here. You can see in this particular pen there's a little old chair with a nice cute bed on it. That little old chair was from my mum's place. She was not needing it anymore and it was being gotten rid of, so I brought it out here, and the cats love it and can sleep on it. If they wreck it, it doesn't matter because it was rubbish anyway. That's the way I see it. You can see I've also got cages in each of my pens as well. That's because we're in a bushfire area. There's a bit of a bushfire danger where we are, and if I need to, I can shove my cats into those cages. These doors have been made wide enough so that we can quickly take them out, move them to our trailer, and take the cats away to safety. While they're in there though, they use them as a place where they can have their beds, and they have some hammocks in there as well, and they really enjoy that. Douglas has just jumped off the roof again. He's very naughty. So that's my Cattery, which I call the barn, as you've heard. Another little thing about this place is that some of the pens, there's a pen here which is a small pen. It's actually not a small pen, it's two small pens, because we have a structure in the middle that we can take out and we can make that into a bigger pen. And I'll probably show you that here. We've got the boys in this pen here. This bit here comes out, so these two pens will actually go into a double pen. So I think I said that before, I've condensed everybody down because it's hot and we need to make sure that everybody can fit in from outside. Normally the girls that are in here would have a lot more space. They'd have this pen and the pen next door, they'd have that together rather than being not being put in one pen. Although there's only two cats in this pen, which is fine. There's plenty of room for them there. And they do come out, they do have their turn coming out and running around as well. Other things, I have a great big deep freeze which I put my cat meat in, and I also have a fridge there for defrosting things. I even have, I'm not going to show you because it's messy over that side of things, but I even have a TV out here so that I can watch TV while I'm doing my cats. That means that while I'm doing all the cleaning, and probably when I finish taking this video, I might actually put on, I really want to watch, I'm up to the last Star Wars movie on my DVDs and I want to watch that. So I'll put a movie on or some DVDs of shows, and I will clean my cats while I'm watching TV. The cats, I don't think, care whether the TV's on or not, but it makes it more interesting for me. I've also got music out here that I can listen to. So this environment, yeah, I'm trying to make it as nice as possible for my cats, but I want it to be nice for me to be out here as well because I spend a lot of time out here too. It's really good. I have a heater as well for when it's cold, because if it's cold or if it's hot or if it's just not where you want to be, if it stinks or if it's, I don't know, whatever, you won't stay out here and you won't spend time with your cats. And your cats need you to spend time with them because they're breeding cats, yes, but they're also your pets. And we need to have, if we lose sight of that, then I think that we're no different to people, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but then it means you're no different to someone who's being a farmer, who's raising livestock. And we're not doing that. That's not what we do. There's nothing wrong with farmers raising livestock, don't get me wrong. But with cats, that is not what we're doing. We're actually raising animals that we love, and we want them to be happy and we want them to have good lives. So you can definitely do things to make that easier to do. Have a lot of stuff, have a lot of doubles of things. I have cupboards full of beddings. I have a big pile of beds over here that I'm gonna have to sort through at some stage. Look at all the beds, look at them all, look at them, so many beds. I'm gonna have to sort through them. I've got to sort through my ribbons that are hanging up. They're looking a bit dusty, some of them, and it's time for them to go. So I will be having a bit of a tidy up in here, I think, over the next few weeks. But at the moment, because it is summer, everything is in here. The cats are in here. I've even got my worm farm in here because worms just will not live in 40-degree heat. They just will not. So my worms, you can see them here. That's my worm farm. Oh, you can see the mess with the TV there too. That's my worm farm, and that's in here because it's really, really hot and I want to keep them safe too. So in that regard, I am a farmer because I have a worm farm. But I'm not farming my cats. My cats are my babies, my loves. Herbert, what have you done? Herbert's pulled his bedding off his chair into his litter tray, so that's a job for me there. Bernard's just seen one of the girls run past, I think. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, if there's anything I can help you with to do with catteries, what they're made of, or how you can actually maybe start doing things as a new breeder, what kind of structures you can have. I'd really love if you could share with me what you might have. I'd love to see what other people have. That's always really interesting. People love to see other people's catteries and do a little bit of a cattery tour. You can start small. You can start with one pen out on the patio. You can start, you know, you can do something bigger. You just be aware that you want to make sure that you have space for your cats before you get them. Space for them before you get them. If you're going to be getting a new cat, make sure you have somewhere for it to go. If it doesn't get on with your other cats, if it has special needs, different to your other cats, and also if it's a boy and you've got girls, you have to have these. You can't say, how do I stop my boy from mating my girl? The answer is they don't live in the same. They can't. They're physically stopped from doing that because they live separately. But you need to sort that out before you get them. So as a new breeder, these are things that you need to work out for yourself. Another tip I'm going to give you just before I go, you can see up here I've got all my cat carriers at the top there. Make sure that you have enough cat carriers for each of your cats. Make sure that if there's an emergency, you can put everybody in a cat carrier and take them out. That's just a small number of the ones that I have. I actually have some collapsible foldable ones as well for emergencies, and like I said, I've got those big cages we can put the cats in too, so that's another thing that we have. Make sure you've got plenty of them. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I feel like I've been talking for a long time about just a lot of stuff. I'll post this up. It's not edited, like I said, so it's not as nice as I normally do, but I hope there's some value in it for you, and maybe you've gotten to know me and my cats a little bit better. There we go. Okay, bye.